Welcome back to the Boxing Bookie. It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Uh, got some background noise. Sorry about that. Glad everyone could join me today. Let's get into it. Got a busy week. We're gonna try to get in as much as possible. We got two shows up. We got a show today. We got a show tomorrow. Then we got the fight Saturday. We will be obviously doing a post-fight reaction to Morrell and all that good stuff. But we're close to the end of the month. Had a pretty good month. Let's close this month out strong. I guess the month is already pretty much closed out. We'll be starting next month, right? But before we start, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. Please smash the like button. Do all the stuff that the algorithm loves. After you guys do that, please head on over to carnivalbar.com. That's carnivalbar.com. Use promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10%. Use promo code BOXING at checkout to save 10% at carnivalbar.com. It's a meal in your pocket, the world's only high-fat, grass-finished beef bar that replaces a meal while on the move and stores for years. Get your travel autonomy and freedom back. That's carnivalbar.com. It's a nutrition of a steak, the convenience of a bar. It's a meal in your pocket. Use promo code BOXING to save 10% at checkout. All right, y'all. Check the chat. We got Muscles. Got our parlay locked and loaded. We ready to go. We are ready to go. It's gonna be a good week. I'm gonna just pull it up. And if you guys have any questions, please put them in the chat. I'll answer any questions. Any questions, comments, thoughts, super chats. I will address all of them. All right, let's just take a look at the fight card first on BoxRec. Let's see what we're working with. It's gonna be a good month, man. February's gonna be off to a good month. We got a whole month, and that's how I assess things. I assess things on a month by month basis. This month's already complete. I don't have any more bets for this month. The Benavidez card and it's obviously February 1st, as is the Adam Azim card. So those are both next month. Every weekend is loaded with fights. Yeah. December, January, a little bit slow. We made money on it, but slow months, not a ton of fights. February, lots of fights, lots of opportunities to make money. TJ said, "Yo, what's up, Gary? It's Chilltown Boxing. Tell you what, you drop a link and I'll chop up these parlays with you." All right, yeah, we can do that. You guys want TJ in? All right, yeah. I'll drop a link. You got it. You want to hop on? Hop on. Links in the chat, TJ. You're more than welcome to come on. Absolutely, 100%, my dude. It's pinned right there for you. And then, guys, I'm gonna put the link for the Patreon as well. All right. The Patreon as well. The Patreon is in there. Join the Patreon, guys. $5 a month gets the absolute best gambling advice anywhere in the known boxing universe. Just $5 a month. That link is in there for you, TJ. All right, I'm gonna pull up. Let's take a look at the card first. Let me pull up the card on BoxRec first. Benavidez, Morrell, Figueroa, Fulton, Isaac Cruz, Fiaro. These are Mirko Cuello and Christian Olivo Barreda is an interesting one. I haven't gotten to that yet. Ramos and Rosario, Capo Gallegos, Leonardo Padilla. And then Benavidez, Rosenberger, Blancas, Barajas. We got Carmel Moten. We got a lot of good fights. Gabriela Tellez. We got a lot. So let's all right, I'm gonna pull up the book now. I'm gonna just start shooting out parlays and bets that I like. I'm gonna go through just this card. All right, I'm not gonna, and this is gonna be all messed up, obviously. The odds on Morrell are getting better and better. He's plus 180. I like Morrell here. I really do. But the bet I really, really like on this is fight to go the distance. These are the two bets I like. I like Morrell and I like the fight to go the distance. If you guys want, you could also take Morrell by decision. I like that bet. These are the bets that I like. Morrell, fight to go the distance. Morrell money line. If I'm parlaying something, I'm using this. This is the bet I like a lot. Fight to go the distance. I really like that bet. It's minus 225. It's pretty good odds. It's something that we can build our parlay around. All right, we got my guest Chilltown in the house. What's up, my man? What's up, my man?
Gary, what's up, man? Bear with me. I'm like a little computer illiterate. I don't know if I'm hooked up right here. This is rare for me because I got two small kids. I don't get a lot of free time to jump onto any channels. How's it going, man?
It's good to have you on, Chill. It's good to have you on. Yeah, I want to address this here. Muscles is a biggie fight in Vegas. You think the judge is going to be funny with the card? The fight's in Vegas. It's on the Morrell card. Look, I want to address the first fight, and I'll get your take on this too. I thought the first fight was close. I thought it was competitive with Figueroa and Fulton. But like with most people, I thought Figueroa won. I don't think it was a robbery. I don't think it was a misjustice. I don't think it was a travesty. But I thought clearly Figueroa won the fight. What were your thoughts on the first Figueroa-Fulton fight a couple of years ago?
I mean, I scored it. I've watched it a few times. I'm okay with the 7-5 Fulton. I scored a 7-5 Fulton. I can see a 6-6. You know, the clear work for me was Fulton. Fulton really dogged it out. He's got this thing where he lands clear counter punching. His shots were definitely more eye catching. The Figueroa has this problem where he smothers his work, and it was a dog fight, but I felt like he really couldn't put his type of style that he usually does against Fulton. But to be clear, that was probably Fulton's best masterclass of work. That was the performance. I don't know if he could pull out again, but I scored at 7-5.
He had a great performance against Angelo Leo too. I think Angelo Leo is a pretty good fighter, and
those scorecards were way too wide in that fight.
Yeah.
Angelo Leo fight.
I
don't know if you want to talk about this fight just yet, but you know.
But I wanted to before I slip out, I want to address what you said. Fulton did land the more eye-catching punches. He's landing the punches from the mid-range and the full and long range. Well, everything Figueroa lands is in the phone booth, so it doesn't catch your eye as much as the clean shots that Fulton are landing at distance. He has to win the fight. If he's going to win this fight, I don't think he can win this fight. I'll get your take in a second. I don't think Fulton's going to win this fight, but if he's going to win this fight, he has to be able to win the fight at long range because he's not going to win it up close, right?
Fulton?
Yeah.
But he's not a long-range fighter. I mean, I think that's a misconception. He's a very good inside fighter. He's not
winning the fight. He's not winning the fight. To me, he won the fight. The rounds that he won, it was because he landed clean shots from the mid-range and the long range. I can't see him at this stage of his career with Figueroa at his best weight, outworking and outlanding Figueroa on the inside. But I'll let you give your take.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's this fight coming up. You asked me what my opinion was on the score, and I scored it for 7-5 Fulton. You know, even in the clinch and off the ropes, his back was on the ropes a lot. I thought he felt comfortable, and I thought he was landing the cleaner, more effective shots, which is rare because I typically am favoring the pressure fighter. You know, I usually take that will over the skill, and it seems to be a trend now with judging that they are taking the front-footed heavy fighter. But to my point, a lot has changed since that fight. This fight now is at 126, and we all know that Fulton took a ton of damage against Inoue. I watched that fight last night, and I was shocked. I'm pinching myself thinking, how is it that TJ Doheny did that much better than Steph Fulton against Inoue? So I couldn't give Steph Fulton a round. And he really took a beating the last few rounds. I think not only physically, but mentally, that's going to take a toll out of Fulton. And then he had the fight with Castro, and like I was alluding to, he fought that fight on the inside. He beat Castro on the inside. I had a 6-4 Fulton for him. You know,
I thought Fulton won too, but it was very, very close. I thought I had 6-4. You did very, very close fight, and it shouldn't. I mean, Castro's a decent fighter, but he should not be.
He's good. He's
Yeah,
good.
Fulton I thought was a cut ahead. Like when Fulton was coming up at 122 pounds, I thought Fulton was going to be a long reigning champ. I thought he was going to have a great career, and he's kind of. I
So did
think
I. Yeah.
that Inoue fight really took a lot of starch out of him. I mean, he got beat down in that fight, and that was a fight. I'll be honest, I picked him to win that fight. I don't know why. Someone was just telling me upset, and I didn't bet on it because I wasn't comfortable with it. But like, you go back, you watch my video, I picked the upset in the fight, and then he got washed in that fight.
Steph Fulton was a pound for pound top 15. Everybody had Steph Fulton pound for pound top 15. He was the guy at 122, and this was Inoue's first fight, stepping up to 122, facing the best.
Yeah, I think Fulton is not 100%. I don't think he's at his best weight. I think 22 is his best weight, not 26. I think he's had a lot of steam taken out of him. I don't think he's the fighter that he was in the first Figueroa fight when he was absolutely peaking. So I say all of that to say I'm taking Figueroa possibly by stoppage. We're gonna get to that. But what are your thoughts on the Fulton fight?
Oh, this is my problem with Figueroa. Before everyone keeps telling me Figueroa's gonna wash Fulton, which believe me, when this fight was announced, I get it. But his fights now since 126. So Inoue had one fight at 126, Carlos Castro. I meant not Inoue, I'm sorry. After Inoue, Fulton had one fight against Carlos Castro, right? Brandon Figueroa, I had 3, I believe, right? He fought Mark Magasayo. That fight, the scorecards were ridiculously wide on that. That fight was like 6-6. He was getting
I was shocked by the scorecards. I felt like
he
it
had
was a
2
makeup.
points removed. Yeah, believe me too. Sometimes it works like that. Then he fights Carlos Castro, a fight where I thought he possibly could have been losing, and he got the stoppage. That was a very close fight also with Carlos Castro.
Well,
and
the Castro fight came first. The Castro fight was his comeback fight after Fulton. It was Castro, yeah.
And then Mark Magasayo, and then because he's only had 3, he fights like once a year.
Once a year
and,
now, yeah.
And then recently Jesse Magdaleno, who lost every round against Raymond Ford, right? He got completely washed by Raymond Ford. So you're thinking it shouldn't be too close because Jesse Magdaleno isn't a 126 pounder either. He's very small for that weight division. He was getting thoroughly outboxed Figueroa by Jesse Magdaleno. Thoroughly outboxed. I had a decent amount of money on Brandon Figueroa, and I started to panic. But this is the thing with Figueroa that we have to understand is that he has to go through gears. He's a slow starter. Like a lot of pressure fighters, they have to warm up, go through gears. And once the boxer tires out, then that's where they're typically a second half fighter like Figueroa. So he was able to stop Jesse Magdaleno. So with that being said, the point I'm getting to is that he gives up a lot of early rounds. He's not always clearly winning the fight. And if this is anything like the first fight, Steph Fulton could get an early lead. But, then comes in this conversation of it's at 126 now. And is he or is he not, damaged goods?
Just to me, Figueroa stylistically, he's a lot to deal with, right? You're going to have to deal with his punch output for 12 rounds, right? You can win some rounds early. And last week I had money on Conor Walker against Harry Scarf, and he was losing pretty much every round, right?
He was losing every round.
He was losing each battle, but he wasn't losing the war. And then in the 11th round, he finally got him, right? I'm not saying that Figueroa is going to do that, but Figueroa is always a threat to stop you, right? He's always and he's gotten middle round stoppages, late round stoppages when he's probably been behind on the cards. So he's not a guy, and I don't think this fight's going to be very difficult for him. I really don't. But he's not a guy that if he gets behind on the scorecards, that's it, right? Like he's gunning.
He's got more ways to win.
Yeah, exactly.
He can win on points here, or he can stop him late. And I don't think, this is the thing, Figueroa. Have you ever seen him hurt? I don't know. He has great recovery. I don't think Fulton is that guy. If he is going to get hurt, I don't think Fulton is the one to do it. So you'd really have to bank on Fulton winning, 7 rounds? Is that going to happen? Probably not.
I honestly don't think. I think it may be close on the scorecards. If you put a gun in my head, I like Figueroa by late stoppage. If you ask me for an official prediction, I'm saying Figueroa TKO 11.
Okay. To be clear, I'm very invested in Brandon Figueroa in this fight.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
I like to be as I guess transparent with I gotta give you everything I can on Steph Fulton. So
if you were to put one bet on this fight, any prop or any outcome you want, what would you like? Figueroa is minus 185. You like the over. You like Figueroa by TKO is plus 260. Figueroa by decision is plus 145. What do you
It's
like?
tough because I mean, myself, what I do, I'm conservative, so I'm a money line guy.
So
You know, how many times have you get screwed on the draw if it's a closer fight than you may think it is, or picking the right winner. I tell people this all the time. Picking the right winner is tough enough. Now you're trying to pick how they're gonna win. I mean, there's nothing worse than you got the right guy and then
you get
he wins by
outcome
he wins
wrong,
by knockout. You didn't see that coming, or wins by points. So.
He gets a mercy stoppage. The corner keeps him on the stool. It's like, oh, I just need like 2 more. Yeah, I had one of my Patreons, message me in my Patreon. It's like, if you get to take Conor Walker, why don't you just take him by stoppage? He's not gonna, you know what I'm saying? I was like, yeah, because it was paying like plus 350. I was like, I should have just done that. But I just took him on a money line. It was like plus 110.
Let me tell you something. I do the same thing. I went Subaru Matias fought Liam Paro. I think Liam Paro. People messaging me, oh, why aren't you taking him by knockout? I'll never get a decision in Puerto Rico. I said, listen, I think he can get a decision in Puerto Rico, but I'm not going to play that. I'm playing the money line. The money line price is good enough. I'm not going to be greedy. I Subaru Matias, I just stylistically broke it down. I said, I think Liam Paro is going to win, even in Puerto Rico. So the money line's always good for me.
So you're on board with Figueroa money line. We're both on board with that.
Figgy money line. That's it.
All right, let's get straight to the main event. I like Morrell. I think Morrell has more ways to victory. I think he can. I think he's a more skilled fighter. I think he's a less flawed fighter. I think he's a more complete fighter. I'm not degrading Benavidez anyway. I'm not saying Benavidez has no chance. If you're asking me to handicap, I would say I'm 55% sure Morrell's going to win. Right? Not a lot, but if I had to pick a winner here, I would pick Morrell. The bet that I like a lot, if you're going to build a parlay around, is for this fight to go the distance. I definitely see this thing going the distance. The fight props for the fight, does the fight go the distance? Minus 225, it goes the distance. That's my favorite bet on this fight. That's what I would build my parlay around this week. What says you?
Yeah, no, I mean, look, people have been asking me all week about this, and this fight drives me crazy because they're both now at 175. Both their last performances were not good. Not for what the standards that we have of them. We hold them to as such standards. Both these fighters, Benavidez, Morrell, and I'm saying to myself, something tells me I think stylistically with Benavidez, how he's a great second half fighter. I think this fight will be won or lost in the second half, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And Benavidez is a clutch second half fighter. I don't think it has to do with experience. I think it has to do with the stylistic battles. And, for me, David Morrell, especially fighting against Hot Rod, I thought he was explosive, how he always is. Cubans, very good footwork. He's more skilled than Benavidez. He's got better hand speed, better ring IQ. But it seemed like against Hot Rod, after like 4 or 5 rounds, he ran out of ideas. And then,
I saw him, especially late in that fight, 9, 10, 11, 12. It seemed like he was bored and disinterested and frustrated in that fight.
He did the same thing over and over again. I will pop the jab, the straight right, make him reset. And it's like you wanted to see something more. Maybe him go through a different gear or try something new. And it's like, yeah, he seemed almost disinterested, right? And I don't know. It just left Scooter winning that fight. Yeah, I don't know.
I can't see it. Like, I'm a Scooter fan. I've interviewed him a bunch of times. He's a great guy. I thought he was really, really good. I can't see him winning this fight.
I watched the presser today too. I don't know if you watched the presser. I watched the press conference today too. And Figueroa was enthusiastic. He looked great. He's obviously very motivated for this because he felt that he was wronged and he was robbed. So that's a chip on his shoulder. He hasn't had the big payday that Fulton has. And Fulton, it seems like the way he's been talking is like almost mentally checked out. That's how I got it. He was on his phone the whole time. He didn't want to be. So listen, let me tell you something. If that's kind of the case, if you're somewhat maybe mentally checked out, the wrong type of style to get found out again is Figueroa, because he is going to be on your chest from round 1 to round 12. So if, that's the style that we're talking about. Fulton has to be perfect. Figueroa doesn't.
I want to, Rambo, I think he's talking about Figueroa here. Squares up. Don't know if he's southpaw or orthodox.
Benavidez.
Oh, talking about Benavidez. I thought he was talking about.
Is he squares up? Doesn't know. Yeah. Oh, if he doesn't know, he's southpaw. Yeah, Figueroa does that. He does the switching, but Benavidez squares up too. That's how he got dropped.
I'm close friends with Omar Sr. Like I know the dad really well. I did a really good interview with Omar when he was talking about his mental health issues. That's just the way they train to fight, right? You can love it, you can hate it, but that's by design. That's not sloppiness. That's not out of character. That's just how the Figueroas fight. That's how their dad taught them to fight.
Well, he's got a chin on him, so far it's
Yeah.
worked. So far it works.
And it's a lot because he's so long. Like he's functionally long, and he doesn't use his length.
But he doesn't use it.
But what he is he's back on your chest, right? If you take 2 steps, he's like right back in your chest, just pounding away. You can't get him off of you, right? Like he doesn't use his reach, but he uses his length to stay on you, right? And you can't get away from him. That's how he uses it. When he came up, though, I thought like he was going to be better than his brother because he did have more of a jab. Like he seemed to be able to set things up better than his brother. And now he's kind of just resorted to the same exact fighter that his brother was at a smaller weight class.
Not a long career like that.
No. They're all fun. I'm a Texan. They're a Texan. I love those guys, but yeah, they're not going to have long careers. I definitely agree with that. So you're taking on that. You like the over.
And, yeah. First, I'm personally, so everybody knows, I'm not betting this right now. Just a little piece of advice for me: if you are going to take Benavidez, I think it's better in play because Morrell, I feel like we'll get into, maybe 3 rounds. After 5 rounds, I could see Morrell being up, maybe 3 or 4 rounds. You get a much better price in play. If you agree, like I think, Morrell's going to start off. Benavidez loses rounds. Benavidez, that's what he does. Benavidez, in my opinion, lost the first 6 rounds against Caleb Plant.
I thought at least the first 5, yeah, but for sure, yeah.
And then it started turning, and Caleb should have probably been stopped. Probably a point should have been taken off. But like I was saying, Benavidez comes on strong. I can see something with Morrell. He's going to be sharp early, and the prices will probably flip. So Morrell, if you're going to play Morrell would be good now to play.
Yeah. And as far as the over under, you like the fight to go the distance too, correct?
Yeah.
I think that's your best bet. I do like I do like the live play. I like the live betting. That's probably.
I don't mind the draw on this. I think it could be a fight of 2 halves where Morrell's going to do boxing early, and then maybe Benavidez gets a couple rounds, and then it starts turning. You really see Benavidez pressuring. Maybe Morrell doesn't have ideas, and then we're like, hey, this could be 7-5 either way or a 6-6 fight.
Here's the point I made, and this is what I was so disappointed. You saw Caleb Plant when he got with Breadman. He got one. I forget who he knocked out, but he got a vicious knockout. I was like, okay, they're having Plant sit.
It was
Durrell. Yes, it was Durrell. Yeah. He got a vicious knockout. Like, okay, Breadman is having Caleb Plant sit down. I never thought Caleb Plant was like a feather-fisted guy. He's just a guy that didn't sit down.
But he wasn't really a boxer puncher. Yeah, he was more pure boxer.
Okay, so now we're gonna have him sit down. He's getting a little older. He's getting a little stronger. Sit down on your punches and establish yourself more. And then he ran the whole fight with Benavidez. And you can't beat Benavidez that way because eventually, if you run for 12 rounds, you're going to slow down. And once you slow down, that's it. He's going to tee off on you. He's going to break you down and kill you. And that's exactly what happened. So I was like, if you're going to fight Benavidez, you have to be able to slow him down. Because if you're just running the whole time, eventually he's going to catch you. And when he does, it's the end of the night. To me, Morrell has the power to stop Benavidez from just walking in the front door, right?
I agree with that. No, stylistically, he's got a much better chance than Plant. One, I think he's bigger and he's stronger. You need the power to be able to at least some resistance. Like Benavidez was just walking through the same thing with Demetrius Andrade. Andrade didn't have the power, and you can't hold your feet too long against Benavidez because he's huge. He's bigger than you, but. Yeah, stylistically, this is going to be Benavidez' toughest fight to date.
I want to get to this one too. Isaac Cruz, Angel Fierro. This is a fun fight. I think it's entertaining. I think it's a hell of a scrap while it lasts. But I can't see Fierro, who I think is just a low-budget Walmart food stamps version of Isaac Cruz. So I can't see him win. It's a fun fight. It's entertaining. I can't see it on what planet Fierro wins, though. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the price is very, very wide, but I can't think of anything that Angel Fierro does better than Pitbull Cruz. And you know what this is gonna come down to? Because stylistically, they're both perfect for each other because they're both front foot heavy. They don't have to go looking for each other. This is gonna come down to who's gonna be more durable, and that, in my opinion, is Pitbull Cruz.
He's
You
also
know,
the bigger hitter too. Like he's the bigger hitter. You know, like Fierro can punch for sure, but Isaac Cruz has game changing power in both hands. So, like I think the fight's fun.
Fierro can crack though
He
too.
can
I don't
crack.
know what his cracker, but he's got most of his wins are by knockout, and he's been fighting at I think 135, 140. He might have a few more fights at 140 than Pitbull Cruz.
Then okay, this is a different card. Well, we'll get to that later. Ramos Rosario. These odds it started at minus 1,400, went to minus 4,000. Now it's back down to 2,500. Rosario at this point of his career has no chance against a young buck like Ramos, right?
This is going to be the fight I love. This is the fight I love. I'll tell you why. As somebody that's betting it, Jason Rosario is, you know, he's only lost by stoppage. He's going to lose by stoppage. He's going to get knocked down here. This is now I'm trying to figure out in my head what round this is going to happen because Jesus Ramos is that good. This is the wrong style to put Jason Rosario. He's 29 going on 49. I don't know if you saw the Jarrett Hurd fight, but Jarrett Hurd is just as washed.
Yeah. And I thought Rosario won that fight, but it really didn't matter. Both guys lost.
Yeah, I played the draw. I played the draw. I was like,
oh, there you go. That was smart. That was good.
Washed.
Yeah.
But I thought Jarrett Hurd was gonna have the chance because he's got a little bit higher work rate, whereas Rosario's a little bit of a better boxer. But I mean, those rounds were so hard to. But what proved to me is they're completely washed. And Jason Rosario, I think, has been stopped 4 times. You know, his last one was by Brian Mendoza. Brian Mendoza, who is not a middleweight. He's a 154 pounder. He jumped up to middleweight, dropped him in the second, and then stopped him in the fourth. I mean, I don't do the boxing triangles, boxing math, but Brian Mendoza fought Jesus Ramos Jr. It wasn't close. Jesus Ramos, you know,
walked him, styled on him. Yeah, that was
so. Just let's be, you know, maybe sometimes you can do boxing math when you add the right things up. So if you take that, Jesus Ramos is going to dog walk Rosario, Banana Rosario. It's going to happen. I love the knockout there. I don't know what DraftKings knockout price is. Maybe minus, you know, I got it early. Oh, okay. See, I had it at minus 290. So
that's the one you want to get right there. But the odds on this thing is going buck wild. Like I said, a couple days ago when I did the video, it was minus 1,400. Then it went to minus 4,000. Now it's back down to a more reasonable 2,500. So the odds on this thing is all over the place. Like,
I mean, tell me, is there a world you think he's doing 10 rounds with Jesus Ramos?
I can't see it. Like I've been said, I think Ramos is the best 154 in the world. I saw him on a card in 2020, I guess it was, right before the pandemic in Mississippi when he was like 18 years old. I'm like, my God, this kid is something else, right?
It was one of my prospects of the year. I mean, he's young. He seems a lot. He's
still 23 or something like that. Yeah, he's crazy young.
And the Lubin fight, that was his to lose. All he had to do was fight 30 seconds more around, and it was his. I mean,
and I still thought he won that fight, but you know, he did make it closer than it had to be on the cards. That's true. All right, so then Daniel Blancas. I'm not a big Blancas fan. I think he's a little overhyped, but he's certainly going to beat Juan Barajas. Any thoughts on that?
No, what's that? I can't see. What is he like? Minus 600?
Minus 2,000. Yeah.
Oh, it's minus 2,000.
Yeah, it's not even, and there's no prop on this for the knockout. So
I know the odds have gotten crazy today. I mean, Benavidez, I think, what is he at now? -2. He's over now. The 2. Figueroa is probably minus 200. Yeah.
Benavidez is minus 230 now. I don't like that bet at all.
Yeah, I mean,
money is still minus 185.
Yeah, I like that. Minus 180. That's good. You can work with that.
So a couple of the fights on this card: Mirko Cuello and Christian Olivo. A lot of people are calling the upset here. What do you think?
Oh man, that Argentina kid, he is phenomenal. I don't know. I'm very high on him.
I am too.
What is he at? Because he opened at like minus 500. I don't usually use DraftKings too much, but
okay.
I don't know what
he's minus 650.
Minus 650 now. Yeah. I mean, he could look like minus 2,000 by the second round. So
that's my thoughts on this. People are calling the upset. I don't see it at all. I think because he got that win over Rudy Garcia. What was that? That was back 2023, and
the black fighter, the African fighter, Sagawa, who I was ringside for the Shushu fight. Let me. I was at that fight too.
I was there too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you thought it was going, but the
It
crowd, like I've
it
been to
was
a lot
hell.
of.
If it wasn't in Sushu's backyard, it could be different. Yeah, yeah.
Because I've been to, I don't live too far across the river, so I go to a lot of garden fights.
You live in
Shoes,
Jersey, or where do you
yeah, I
live?
live in Jersey City.
Okay.
So Shoes crowd, they're rambunctious, right? They're super rowdy. That ring was so quiet. Like nobody was saying it. Everyone was worried. It looked like he was gonna lose the fight or catch a draw. But anyways, and Shushu is very, very good. So for Suelo to be able to beat him like he did, I think that's pretty telling.
Oh, you live in Jersey City?
Yeah.
2 of my top 10 favorite pizza places are in Jersey City. Raza's and
Raza.
Jimmy Brooklyn's. Yeah. 2 of
Yeah,
my they
yeah.
both
Raza's
cracked
the
my
best.
top 10. The Raza's is fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. So we're both on agreement with that. Then I mean everything else here is pretty straightforward. The other 5 people, okay, Benavidez and Rosenberger. I'm working on the video right now. This is minus 1100. Benavidez by decision to me is obvious here. Rosenberger is a guy that can avoid. He's on a back foot. He moves a lot. He's got decent reflexes. And Benavidez isn't super aggressive. To me, this is Benavidez by points.
Let me tell you something. I think this could be the upset on the card.
Right, you think so?
Bro, yeah. I do. I really do. I don't know if you saw him fight Nico Ali.
I
He's
did.
put a boxing clinic, in my opinion, on Nico Ali. He has good. Rosenberger has.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for him to win rounds. He doesn't throw enough.
And I think this is at 160. Like
it's at 160.
Yeah, Benavidez. He's small for 160. When's the last time he fought? Over a year ago? More than a year ago.
He's a PBC guy. It's been
it's more than a year ago. But Rosenberg, he's been fighting fight after fight, and I think there's only an 8-rounder.
Correct.
Yeah, the feet and the hand speed of Rosenberger, I think he could definitely pull off. I wanted to play draw on this. I can't find draw anywhere. It's only I think he could definitely. I think he could get 4 rounds, at least 4 rounds, if not 5. And he's like plus 650.
So you think this is? So I have a rule of thumb. If it's more than plus 300, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it's a 50-50 fight. Just bet it. Because if it's 50-50, right, out of 10 fights, you're going to win 5 of them, right? So to me, if it's plus 300 or more, and you think it's a 50-50 fight, take the plus money fighter.
I mean, Benavidez Jr. is not that good. Yeah, I don't know.
Benavidez Jr. is not good either. I just don't think Rosenberger can win rounds. He doesn't throw enough. Benavidez has a good jab.
At this point, this is my thinking. How good do you have to beat Benavidez Jr. right now when he hasn't been in the ring? And I don't have. Where's my other phone? He hasn't been. And is he coming off a loss? This is what really got me thinking. I was so impressed with this kid against Nico Ali. I was really impressed.
The time he lost, he lost almost every round to Big Charlo. Jamal Charlo.
So, yeah, that wasn't going to be competitive. Let me see. He last fought. Yeah, and then he lost. He fought 2022, had 2 fights in 2023. He didn't even fight in 2024.
Yeah.
And I remember the fight with Danny Garcia. Yeah. And Danny Garcia is also very undersized. I mean, he had no business being that. So, yeah, man. I don't know. I'm looking at this. This looks like, this got upset on it. I don't know.
I think Benavidez is not that washed where he's going to lose to Rosenberger. Rosenberger can't hit, and he doesn't throw enough. He's a back foot guy who doesn't throw enough. I can't see him impressing the judges enough to win these rounds. Like, he might not get blown out. He may be competitive in the fight. I just don't see him doing enough to win the round. That's my issue with Rosenberger. It's like, how is he going to impress the judges enough to win the rounds? And that's that. I think that's it. So you want to come up with a parlay anything else I'm missing here? I'm going to come up with something here. You tell me what you think of this parlay. Hang on.
Well, there's a fight that I'm very invested in that you haven't talked about.
What's that?
Adam Azim. I'm very.
I was gonna work. That's the other card. I was gonna try to just focus on.
Okay. So you separate them.
Give me. Yeah. You want to get into the Azim fight? I'm an Azim fan. Give me your. To me, this is easy money. I'm a big Adam Azim fan, but give me your thoughts on Azim and break down the fight for us, and then we'll build a parlay.
Well, Adam Azim, it's the style
You can
matchup, right?
disagree with me. You can 100% disagree with me.
Yeah, well, I don't know what your take is. I mean, but I've done a ton. I know both these fighters like the back of my hands. I've pre-taped them for fights that
Yeah.
for especially the Robbie Davis Jr. Serhai Lipinets fight. I was very heavily invested in that, and I was shocked by how how would you say this? How degraded the chin of Lipinets was, and how he was reacting to Robbie Davis Jr.
Who's
His
not a
jab,
hitter? Yeah.
his jab, and the right, and he doesn't have hand speed.
Yeah.
Adam Azim does everything better than Robbie Davis Jr. He's a lot crisper. He's bigger. He's stronger. He's taller. But Lipinets has only been stopped once by Boots, but I don't think this is matter. I think this is a timing thing, stylistic thing, and I see within the first 6 rounds. I don't think Lipinets is making it in the first 6 rounds. He's a guy that has to be reckless to close distance.
Yeah.
I taped him for the Michelle Rivera Lipinets fight. He was getting thoroughly outboxed. If Michelle Rivera held his feet, he could have hurt him, but he didn't. He was playing it safe and boxing him. So, and Adam Azim doesn't do that. He goes for the kill, and he's got a very good left hand and very good straight right, and that seems to be the bread and butter. So, I love the money line and I love the stoppage. I don't know what the stoppage is now, but I think there's still a good price on it. And I like the under.
Minus 200 on a stoppage for Azim.
And this is how slick they are. They made this a 12-rounder. There is no way Lipinets is doing 12 rounds with Adam Azim. It's not happening. I don't see it.
So we both like Azim by stoppage. We both like Ramos by stoppage. Hang on one second. I want to build this parlay. I want to let you know. Okay. I'm gonna stay away from Benavidez because we disagree on that. Let's come up with something. Cuello, we like.
The price isn't even close. He's minus 1,100 for a guy that's been out the ring for over a year, and I don't think he's that good. And he's coming off a loss. I mean, there's just so many red flags in that to lay down minus 1,100. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that fight. I agree with you on that. I'm staying away from it altogether. Cruz. And you said we like the over. We like the fight to go the distance.
For Benavidez Morales.
For Benavidez.
Yeah.
All right. What if we build this? Tell me what you think it is. Isak Cruz money line. Adam Azim by stoppage. Cuello money line. Ramos TKO. Benavidez Morel to go the distance. That's 1, 2, 3. It's 5 legs. It pays plus 236. What are your thoughts on this?
I might even like the over better for Benavidez Morel, just in case.
You want to change the over? It's not. Yeah, we could do that. Yeah.
The over 10.5, which I usually do, and you know how many times I've thanked myself for taking the over. You get that last round or the last halfway through the 11th, and something happens. I was like, oh my god.
So we got a 5-leg parlay here that pays plus 217. And I think everything here is pretty safe. Ramos, KO, I think that's a given. Cuello, money line. To me, that's easy money. Adam Azim, stoppage. That's easy money. That's minus 200. That's really nice odds on that. And then Isak Cruz and the over on Benavidez and Morel. I think we got a hell of a parlay here. What do you think? Plus 217.
That's good. I mean, whenever you can get plus money, I think, I'm trying to think, well, if something were to go wrong, what could... I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty... Yeah, I mean, Angel Fierro, he's not, I've seen him hurt a few times. Like you said, he's kind of a Walmart version of Pitbull Cruz.
Yes, there's no way he's going to win. There's no path to victory for him. There's a path to victory for it being fun, like it's a fun fight, but he's not going to win.
Yeah. I like it.
There you go, guys. We got you a plus 217. I know there are guys in here who only want plus money parlays and stuff. So
everyone wants plus money parlays. I mean, but
ideally, right? But what I say is just bankroll the money. Like I play penny stocks and stuff, and like just make money. Just make money. Like There's going to be some wins, but just come
You
out
want to be
ahead.
consistent.
Yeah, I want to be consistent. I want a consistent income here, and
well, that's how you get it in the long. Yeah, you're playing the long haul, the long game. I do that for. Yeah,
I don't bet
I build
on Tank Davis by third round knockout. Like, I don't do crazy bets like that. I like parlays that are minus 150 to minus 200 in that range where everything looks reasonable. And I 3 times out of 4, 4 times out of 5 I hit.
And that's it. And it all adds up at the end of the year.
All right, so that's what any. I'm gonna wrap this up. If you guys, let me see if there's any questions in the chat, anything like that. Can Fierro box? No. Like off the back foot? Like no. He's a come forward guy. He comes in behind a high guard. He's gonna get tagged. He seems to be fairly durable, but Isaac Cruz has real power.
And he's slow.
And he's slow.
Cruz
no
is way faster than him.
There's no chance of him winning.
And that's Cruz's. I mean, if there's a style to really frustrate Cruz, it's a boxer. Who is that? Giovanni Cabrera was giving all types of fits, but he's very awkward. He's a boxer. This is like
It's just a guy that like when you spar him, it like he's not that good, but then you have to spar him, and it's hell, right? Like I don't know how to fight this guy. That's the kind of guy that Giovanni Cabrera is. Like you look at him, he's not that good. And then you get in with him, you just can't figure him out. Like, how do I fight this guy?
He reminds me of like a Brian Perella. Yeah, there's a few guys like that.
The good fella.
Yeah, good fella. They just make you reset, and you can't just for some reason cut the ring off on them, and before you know it, you're halfway through the fight and you're down rounds.
Yeah. This is Greg. Raises an interesting question. I'll let you respond to it. What competition have you gauged Morrell's abilities by? That's a fair point. Look, I think Hot Rod is a very good fighter. He's not Caleb Plant. He's not the experience of Andre, right? It's a fair point. Morrell has not had the level of competition that Benavidez has. So I'll let you respond to that.
You know, I say this all the time. Like the eye test can go only so far, but you also have to ask what eye you're using. And I make this comparison because I was very, very high on a certain fighter, and I had to hear shit all the time. Well, who did he fight? Who did he fight? And a lot of fighters are just that good where they're, low reward and high risk. And that fighter was Bam Rodriguez. I was saying that forever. Bam Rodriguez. And what happens? He gets a fight, I think, on 11 days' notice against Carlos Cuadras, and he's going to go up a weight class. I was like, he's going to be Carlos Cuadras. And guess what? The odds maker make him the favorite because it's the eye test. Like, it's everything. A lot of David Morrell had been calling people out. Nobody wants to put a good fighter in with David Morrell because he is that good. So you could say, well, what competition? Well, yeah, I get it. They're not going to always throw competition in because there's a good chance they're going to lose against David Morrell. But the people that David Morrell has fought, he's looked fantastic against, with the exception of Hot Rod. This fight's at 140, but he's fought as high as 147, but he's never belonged at 147. But the fight that really impressed me with Morrell was I think he was like from Kazakhstan, Adios. I think he actually ended up dying. I don't know. He was in a coma. I know that. Do you know who I'm talking about? His name was.
I don't. Yeah. I know you're talking about. It was a 12th round knockout. It was right after the Calvin Henderson fight. Ados Yabra. Yeah. I'm not even gonna try to say the last name, but yeah.
Ados. Yeah. I mean, he was a good fighter, but it's the thing when these are like B-level fighters, and you're just, there's like almost no resistance. You can gauge on how good a fighter is. So David Morrell was just walking through these guys, and I don't know. He's for me at 168. He was definitely a dark horse at 168. Could he have gotten a title shot? I mean, I don't know. Do you think he'd beat Callum Smith? I do. Do you think he'd beat John Wright? There's a whole list of names I think that David Morrell would have beaten, but he wouldn't have gotten the title shot. And then when he would have beaten him, then you say, oh, well, then he must be that good. But that's just it's subjective, right?
Absolutely. All right. I appreciate you coming on. I gotta wrap this up. I went a little long. As you like to keep around a half hour. Chilltown, tell everyone where they can find you. I know you got a Twitter. Where else?
I'm on Twitter. That's the only place. I'm on Twitter. post some things there. I'm really on it for the news. I get news real quick for boxing things, but
And that's Chilltown Boxing is your handle on Twitter, right?
that's it. Yeah. Hey, good to talk to you.
Appreciate you hopping on with me, Chilltown. I gotta wrap this up. Anytime you want to come on, let me know. I appreciate your insight. Really do.
All right. Thanks, man. Have a good one.
Be good. All right, y'all. I'm gonna wrap this up. Appreciate everyone. Let me know if you have any last minute questions, comments, thoughts, super chats. Otherwise, I'm gonna wrap this up now. Appreciate it. Shout out to my boy Chilltown for jumping on. It's January 30th, 2025. All right, Kyle. This was as Kazakh guy they were talking about. They said that he recovered from the coma. That's good to know. That's good to know. All right, January 30th, 2025, from Texas to the world. Thank you, and God bless.